What's up, guys? We got a 3D spinner for your phone. Okay, let's talk about the bass. I wish I had cavalry. He has cavalry. Fucking so stupid. So the year's wrapping up. My first total year of reviewing. And I'm fairly happy with its success so far. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same for the quality of this year. Now, I will be making a top... I don't know if I'm going to do a 10 or 15 pickups of the year. If I was doing strictly Transformers, I don't even know if I could make a top 10. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be that special. But anyways, I felt a lot more disappointment this year, so I thought, well, might as well go out and do my bottom 5 pickups of the year. Now, I don't know how long it'll take for me to do my best pickups. I probably will actually do it in 2024, simply because I'm gonna be gone for like almost all of December. And there's a couple of things that I'm waiting for, like the HasLab Death Source, to see, you know what, maybe I'll enjoy that. So I'm gonna hold out on that until I officially end the year. But I'm fairly confident that I have my most disappointing figures or my least favorite figures already out. I don't think they're going to release something that's going to hurt me as much as these 5 figures did. Even like Deathsaurus, if I didn't like it, well, I already got over the fact that I paid $200. It's not like I just got that now and it's like, oh, I didn't want this. So, I mean, it'll either be like fine or I'll really like it, like the Victory Saber. Anyways, I just realized I don't have my source light in. No wonder it looks like shit. It's been a while since I've recorded. I'm actually doing a different setup. Since my phone storage is so bad, I'm actually going to straight up be sharing it on video.ninja, and I'm streaming from my PC, which is why I have a microphone that's probably better. Anyways, this will be a list of 5 figures that... Let me get this perfectly straight. These aren't all bad figures. Some of them definitely are, but I'd say a good majority of them aren't bad, but they are disappointing, or they were just bad experiences, if that makes sense. Probably not, but we'll just go along. So, what is my 5 least favorite pickups of the year?
We get endless torture! Cut away, guys!
So Legacy Evolution hasn't been my favorite toy line, but it's okay. Because what I have been getting and enjoying in spades this year was all the Rise of the Beast stuff. Didn't love the movie, however, I did love the merchandise. Wow, it really is 2009 with Revenge of the Fallen, huh? Anyways, I'd say that a good majority of this is stuff that I really, really enjoyed. But there was one figure that I didn't like. And before you say it, no, it's not Wheeljack, because I went in fully expecting that I would not like that design. Though that's not to say that I like that figure. It definitely would probably be on the list if I made this into a bottom 10. But anyways, we're going to be taking a look at, actually, I think one of the first figures I got, and I people seem to like this figure, but I just don't understand it. Airazor. More specifically, the Studio Series one. Now, this is a figure that I've already reviewed before, and I said it was good, and I still think it's a decent toy. I think a B- was honestly a little too high. The more I've had this figure, the less I like it. Why don't I like this figure? Well, I do like Airazor, but number one, this robot mode just looks such a mess. It's so over-designed. The colors are not appealing. Her face looks stupid. It's just, I don't dig how this figure looks. Number two, you can't even say it's movie accurate because she didn't even transform in the movie. But all I'll say is if she did look like this, I don't think I would have shed any tears when I saw her die in the movie. Oh wait, no, I didn't cry regardless. Number 3, this figure is the exact same figure as the Kingdom when it comes to the engineering. Sure, almost all the parts are different, but the experience is basically the same. All you're getting is the Kingdom figure, but like really dumb looking, really ugly. Just really unappealing. Say what you will about the Wheeljack. I don't really like that design either, but that figure actually has some really interesting engineering. This figure doesn't. Number 4, and this is the big one. Why enjoy this figure when I can enjoy the mainline? Sure, the mainline one is smaller, but I mean, this is the one that I use with all my Studio Series figures, because I do have both the Studio Series and the mainline at this point for all 4 of the Maximals, and I might do that for some of the Autobots, I might do that for some of the Terrorcons. The thing is, there is a bit of a theming going on when it comes to the Studio Series and the mainline. The Studio Series are usually brand new figures, whereas the mainline ones are basically remakes of the old Kingdom toys. The Voyager Primal is very similar to the Kingdom figure. The only difference is like his legs don't collapse for the ape mode, but like if you get it on all 4s, they look pretty much the same. The Cheetor figure is very similar to the Kingdom figure. The mainline Rhinox has a lot of similarities to the Kingdom release, and this is just a straight-up Kingdom remake. The only difference is this one, which not only looks cooler and feels more like the spirit of the character while being a good job, a good execution of adapting and updating a character to make them look like how they would in live action. But the engineering is amazing. It's really cool. And a lot of the Airazor toys are very similar. She's kind of like Cheetor in that way. These are going to become the bird legs. She has wings on the back. She has the bird chest right here, and it just kind of folds around, nothing special. And these arms just kind of tuck in. I mean, the Transmetal doesn't really do that, but all the other ones do. This one is different. The legs become the wings. The hands become the feet. I mean, yeah, this does flip around, but I think that's just really cool. Not only because it's unique, but it also makes a lot of sense. The cool thing with Airazor is, like, with her beast mode, she has these giant wings, obviously. But then she still has the wings in robot mode, but they just kind of shrink. With the other figures, like the Kingdom and this one, they just kind of crimp up, or pleat up. Whatever origami terminology you want to use. And it's effective, but what this one does is just part of the wings just become the feet, and the rest of it just becomes the robot wings. That is so creative. This, like, ever since I got this figure, I just haven't looked back. And even before that, when I was getting the other Maximals, because the thing is, this was the last Rise of the Beast Maximal toy I got. Of the 8, this one was the last. I got all the Optimus Primals, I got all the Rhinox around the same time. Cheetor did take a little bit, but I think it was my 3rd figure that I got. Maybe him or Rhinox, I don't really remember. I think it was, yeah. Okay, so I got Cheetor and Airazor Studio Series. With Cheetor, it took a bit afterwards, but I did eventually get the mainline one for my 3rd figure. Rhinox, I got 4 and 5. Optimus Primal, 6 and 7. And Airazor was 8. So it's like a big gap in terms of the Airazor I got first and the Airazor I got last. And what really stung was when I didn't have this, I'm like, yeah, the Maximals, Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, that's cool. Oh, Airazor, you're there too, I guess. You're no fun. But Airazor's like one of my favorite characters from Beast Wars. So the fact that this figure is so unappealing that I don't like Airazor because of it, that's kind of wild. And then when I got this one, I'm like, oh wait, I like Airazor. That's right. And yeah, it's just, I usually just leave it in the bin. It's probably my least favorite Rise of the Beast figure that I got. I feel like a C honestly fits this thing better than a B-, because it doesn't take any chances. The engineering is samey. The Beast mode, now that I look at it, while it is big and imposing, does really look like it's popping a squat because the legs don't fold up all the way. And the robot mode just looks unappealing. It's not bad, it's just, it's so average. They didn't even try, so I'm not even going to try with my scoring. Whereas this figure, well, you will see it eventually again, but that's all I'll say. I love the main line, but the Studio Series sucks. And I think the biggest disappointment was, I think you saw, this thing got leaked first. And then I saw this, I'm like, wait, what? What's going on? This is before I knew that we were getting a main line and a Studio Series line for Rise of the Beasts. And considering this is the second one I got, I'm like, no, I want that first one. And then I got this one for majority of my time with Rise of the Beast Airazor, and I got this one much later. Yeah, it just makes this thing even more disappointing. So there you go. Not a bad figure, but yeah, Airazor. Just, I don't like this toy. I don't. A lot of people seem to like it more than the Kingdom one, which, good on you, but I can't see it.
Many pitiful attempts at making jokes solely for cheap laughs, and they fail!
Okay, enough of that Rise of the Beast schlop. Let's get on to the real value. Legacy Evolution, which, no surprise, is going to take up the rest of this list. And what better way to describe my disappointment with this toy line than my first figure? You see, usually, my first figure or first figures leave a strong impression. For Siege, I got Prime. For Earthrise, I got Wheeljack. Those were great figures of great characters, and I was excited to have them. Kingdom, I don't think I actually had a first one. I think I just got all 4 of the deluxes at the same time. But that was an incredible lineup. Sure, the Cheetor kind of stunk, but Paleo T-Rex was incredible. I think he's also my first weaponizer, which is cool. Warpath is fantastic, and Black Arachne is also insanely good. It's actually kind of funny, because I don't think I'm going to get a first figure for Legacy United. I'm just going to get, like, a bunch of the ones that I wanted in bulk. But for Legacy, I was a little bit more skeptical, so I only picked out the one character I really wanted the most, which was Skids. I don't know why it wasn't Blaster, but I guess it's because I consider him like a Kingdom figure, technically. But yeah, Skids was my first, and that was awesome. I really liked that figure. I was a little worried, a little disappointed, but like in hand, it's a great figure. And it's nice to finally have a Skids figure. Why am I saying finally? I'm only saying that because I watched this video, you fucking idiot. But anyways, it felt cathartic. You know? Like Geno joining Smash. Which will happen one day, just when Sakurai decides to make Smash again.
Why don't you whip us up a couple of
DLC?
No, I don't really feel like it.
So where does that leave with Legacy Evolution? Well, like I said, I think the first figure I got is a perfect representation of how I feel about this line. It wasn't a figure I got out of passion, but out of an obligation. And it wasn't even a good one at that. Which, now that I say that, you can probably guess what it is. Fucking Breakdown. First off, I don't even like the Stunticons, but I really like the Motormaster toy. I like Dead End. So I kind of felt like I had to get the rest. So my first figure was going to be the last Stunticon, which I don't even care about this character. But also, it's just a re-release of the Wild Rider, which out of the 3 Stunticons is easily my least favorite. It's got like a scrawny robot body with all this kibble hanging out. That's like my biggest pet peeve. You want to know my pet peeve? Just bland, featureless robot modes that are just made of like scrawny limbs and just kibble hanging off. It's like the epitome of boring. But it's also like really uncomfortable because he's got like these sharp elbows that hurt to touch, knees that are like tight. It's just not a fun figure. And considering it turns into a car, it's a nice car, I'll give it that. But it's just bland. I did not like that Wild Rider. I only got him as a Stunticon, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. The fact that my introduction to the next one was just this guy, like, yeah, let's get it over with. Like, when you get your birthday card, all of that money goes into paying off your bills. Like, that's no fun. That sucks. It brings down the mood. But it would be one thing if this figure was at least good or decent, but it sucks. This is one of the worst figures. I think it's on par with Trax in terms of how bad it is. I don't think I gave him his due diligence when it comes to ripping this guy apart for how bad he is. Because not only was he, the base figure, not good, but it is one of the worst cases of parts forming I think I've ever seen. You see, all of these Stunticons came with 2 guns. He only comes with the 1. This is his other weapon. Okay, fine, whatever. At least if you're gonna parts form, do something cool. Like, this fucking figure that... I still love this figure. This is a great figure. It's still my favorite Ironhide. Not the best, but it's my favorite. He has the top that comes off and either forms a really cool riot shield where the only real issue is, like, it's kind of awkward because the placement of the peg. Or it could be the display stand with this mode. But this isn't even anything cool, and you're not escaping criticism. You can either do this, Shut the fuck. Or you can combine them to make an axe. No comment. No comment. So yeah, this is a bad toy. And the fact that this was my introduction to this new line, dude, I was so bummed out. I had to immediately buy Hotshot and Leo Prime, Kimba Prime, whatever. Because while I do view those character choices as jokes, I still wanted them. And then I got them. Hotshot was fine, but he does have his issues with the engineering. I really don't like the clear plastic parts. I hate it. But otherwise, it's a really cool figure. And it's also Armada. We'll talk about that in just a second. But as for Leo Prime, he's great. His robot mode is accurate. His line mode looks kind of dookie, but, you know, it's at least clean, unlike the Masterpiece. And his engineering is really fun. So I at least got that. But, yeah, man, as far as this guy, you know, first impressions are important. And this left a terrible first impression. Yeah, Wave 1 of Legacy Evolution might be one of my least favorite waves ever.
Stewie is a sadistic homosexual deviant.
Speaking of which, let's get to number 3. You were probably expecting him if you watch my channel. You probably don't. But I'm going to say it again. This will probably be one of the last times I talk about this figure. This is still, I think, one of the most abominable Transformers I've ever owned. Is it, like, the worst ever made? No. No. But the fact that this thing is comparable to, like, a Universe Ironhide. Universe Ironhide! Prime Arachnid. I think that figure is technically worse, but by a hair. The fact that we are getting Transformers on that level in today's day and age.
I'm so sad.
But Mr. T, it's just a core clash. Get over it. The same wave we got Sound Blaster, which, yes, that is just a repaint of Soundwave, but that shows off that core classes can be amazing. That is one of the best figures released in Kingdom, and that is the same line that has Cyclonus, Rodimus, and Warpath, all nearly perfect representations of said characters, and that figure was as good as those. Yeah, here's this guy. You don't have an excuse. There's, like, no play value with this guy. With the other Dinobots, at least they come with weapons. Slag and Grimlock, they have removable tails that can become guns. Swoop and Scar, they have fists that either can be a giant blaster, or split off into 2 pistols that look decent. And then Snarl came with the sword. This guy, you know what his accessory was in the package? That. That. And him and Snarl are the only 2 Dinobots that have 0 articulation in dinosaur mode. At least Snarl, you can, like, unpeg the back 2 legs, and there's, like, a little bit of play with that. It's not much, but, you know, it's still better than this guy, which is just a brick. He's a brick in alt mode, and it looks abysmal. His transformation's probably the best thing about him, and it's not. It's just it exists. It's not fun. It's there. And then his robot mode is, dude, he looks too lanky. Just from, you know, looking at it, obviously he has, like, the kibble on his legs, but he just looks lanky and out of place. His arms are so separated, and then when you turn it, it gets worse because they aren't even within the same plane of existence with the torso. These have got to be the worst legs I think I've ever seen on any Transformer. Like, this is just a bad figure. Worst part is, I don't like Sludge. I don't like Sludge. I did not get the leader. I heard it's the best of the Dinobots, the Studio Series ones at least, the leader ones. And you know what? That would be cool because that would make up for the fact that I don't like Sludge because I don't like long necks. I think they're boring dinosaurs, and Sludge has probably been the most featureless. Like, there's nothing about him that stands out. And then he gets the worst core class. It's not even a question. I am just sad that they released something in this state. Yeah, it's bad. So if this is one of the worst Transformers I've ever had, why is he not higher? Well, disappointment was a major part in ranking this. These are my least favorite pickups of the year, but the next 2 were figures I was wanting to be good. And they may be good in some instances, but they have given me such an uncomfortable and painful experience. Whereas this was not painful. I opened this, and it was like looking into the Ark. The amount of it was actually beautiful seeing how much of a fuck up this was. Sure, it's sad that Transformers, which have made some amazing products in the past couple of years, could make something this bad, but hey, at least that's funny. There is no enjoyment I get with these next two. So yeah, I've already talked about this guy to death. I talk about that guy more than Star Wars fans complain about the Star Wars sequel. That is saying something. I don't want to. Okay, maybe that is... I feel bad doing it because I'm like, you've already talked about it a lot, but yeah, just fuck that figure. Fuck it so much. So what, it could be even worse than that guy? Well...
Cleveland is Black Peter.
I feel like something I forgot to mention with Core Class Sludge is that while he is bad, they're cheap. These next two figures were not only figures that I was really looking forward to, but also were expensive. I hate to do this since a lot of people really like this toy, and I can kind of see why, but next up we have... Yes, I still do not like this figure, and I hate the fact that I don't like it. You know, I gotta be honest, Wave 4 was a disappointment. In terms of character picks, it was probably my favorite of the waves, but like, of the 4 figures I got that I was really excited for, Snarl, Bludgeon, Bombshell, and this guy, unironically, I think the Core Class Dinobot was my favorite. Now, granted, Snarl is cool, but my favorite? I don't even like Snarl that much as a character, but Bludgeon just felt redundant, and like, it's Tarn with a different head and color scheme. I get no enjoyment out of that. The Tarn figure is good, but like, I don't care for Tarn as a character, and when you made him a character that I liked, well, he didn't feel like that character that I liked. Bombshell has got his issues, and he's woefully bland when it comes to his engineering, but like, unlike Kickback, I don't feel like it was necessary, because that figure, I can't think of ways to improve that. Oh, I can definitely think of some ways to improve that Bombshell, to make the insect mode look better, make the head look overall nicer, maybe bulking him out a little bit in terms of robot mode. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad figure. It's just not one of my favorites. And we get Dreadwing. You know, the sad thing is, I only got him because I'm like, well, he looks cool. The blue, the yellow. It's not a character I care about. I heard he's one of the better Prime characters. But I just got him because I thought he was neat. He's a bit expensive. You know, I don't usually like buying leaders. I bought the Armada Megatron, but I was happy with him. This one, it was a very soft like. Yeah, he looks cool. I'll give this mold a shot. And, I mean, I get why people like him. The jet mode is cool. And the robot mode, when it works, is nice. It's solid. It's cool. But, like, this robot mode does nothing for me. But what I really hate about this figure is the engineering. I've tried, but you know what? I give up. I'm not going to ever properly transform it. Like, his back is sticking out too far back. Yeah, he's mistransformed, but that's the way he's got to be, because he will never transform correctly. And even without that, which is a video that I've made, and I was complaining about this is still annoying. It untabs all the time. Like, this is pushed down as far as it'll go. This is in the correct spot. You kind of have to push it. It's just annoying. I will give you one thing. I got the nose cone tip back because I lost it. Or it flew off, and I don't know where it went when I made my video. But, like, it's just... there you go. That's going to untab in, like, 2 seconds. Really annoying to plug back in. Really easy to unpeg. I get this is a good figure. And there's a lot of people that really like this figure. You know, there's a lot of figures that I like that everyone hates. Like the Rhinox, the Scorponok, the RC to an extent. People are like, those figures are terrible. But then they're like, oh, this figure's really good. One of the best of Legacy Evolution. And then I'm just like... It's okay, but I also hate it. So, yeah, Dreadwing, I don't get any joy from this. I have a couple of places where I put my Transformers. I have a couple of bins. One of them is for, like, my favorite stuff. Like, I put all my Beast Wars stuff, my Rise of the Beast stuff in there. I have just a toy bin of just all of the random Transformers I've accumulated over the years, and I don't really care about them. They're not modern. They're not mainline. And then I have actual drawers for my... It's very organized for my new stuff. I don't put them in there because I don't like them. I put them in the miscellaneous bin because I don't like them. That's why I don't have his weapons. They're in the bin. Probably at the bottom. I don't care. I don't like him. Like, at least with this guy, he sucks, but he's like, so bad that he's good. This is just... if this was The Room, then this is Battlefield Earth. No, that's unfair. If this is Star Wars Droids, which is like the worst piece of Star Wars media, but it's also like really entertaining, this is Rogue One, where yes, it is competently made, but I either get nothing but boredom or frustration out of him. So, yeah, Dreadwing. Alright. Let's get to number 1.
This is one of those shows that try to step on the world because it's so edgy and cool. But I've got news for you, it's not!
Man, all I have to say, I didn't want to have to put him on the list. I was so looking forward to this figure, but this has been the worst experience I've ever had with a modern Transformer. Fuck. Let me get this perfectly straight. Armada Prime is not a bad figure. But what else can I'm sorry. Pain. It's one thing to have like a core class Rat Trap who gets like a stuck ankle in like the most unhelpful position. That's fine, that's whatever. I can either call him to get replaced or I can just buy a new one. But even if I don't, at the end of the day, it's a fucking core class. Who gives a shit? This is the Commander class. Dude, this was the one of 2 figures that I was genuinely super pumped for. Outside of Beast Wars, surprisingly, it's not animated, which is my second favorite. It is now, but back then, it was Armada. Because here's the thing. Armada the show sucks. Armada the toy line sucks. But you know what didn't suck? The core characters themselves. They were flashy, they were new, they were cool. They had such a striking identity. And that's actually why I really wanted these toys, because those old toys were bad. But now, we've breathed new life into them. Yes, the Starscream and the Megatron original toys were pretty good, especially for the time. They were pretty great. But now we have even better incarnations of them. Hotshot, the original toy, is one of the worst Transformers Hasbro's ever made. Now we have one that's not amazing, but it works as a figure. And then we have this one, which, like, I like Armada Prime. I think he looks cool. Bendy Prime is a great figure. And while I think it was a Supreme, Super, whatever you want to say, while the big toy was not good during its heyday, it was an interesting idea. An Optimus that looks cool, and it turned into like a giant robot, and then that giant robot actually had a base form. A base mode that was better than G1, and it made him a super robot. That's amazing. It didn't work at the time at all. But that's a cool idea. So, and this is a figure that people have been wanting for such a long time. There was that canceled figure that we still don't know what that was, but it's okay because this one is better. But what can I say, man? I was very excited for the figure. Now, granted, when it wasn't broken, I loved this thing. This was like my favorite figure of Legacy Evolution. And that's the real tragedy. That's the real tragedy. Because then I heard whispers, be careful. The panels for the legs have a tendency to break off. I didn't know what they were talking about. What, are you, this one? These? Oh, wait, these. Well, at the time, too little, too late. This one was already starting to break off, but you know what? I stopped touching it. I thought to myself, well, you know what? I'll make the video educating people, but I'll fix this. So I got super glue, and I thought to myself, well, if I unscrew this and free this up a little bit, actually, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was going to take it out and sand it down. I bought sandpaper for this very reason, so I could sand down that post and maybe like apply some stuff to the base. But even while holding it at a base trying to remove it, it broke off. It didn't like break off, but it was about to break. It was hanging on by a thread. Officially broken. It wasn't stressed. It was broken. So then I thought to myself, well, I'll just get some super glue and put that on here. Granted, the super glue got on there. It didn't stick. I'll tell you what, though. It did stick to my fingers, even though my fingers didn't even touch the super glue. So that was not fun getting that off. But yeah, eventually I got it on. It didn't stick. For some reason, it didn't stick. And now the screws have been lost because I gave up on it. And I know what you're thinking. Mr. T, you are an absolute dumbass. Go send this into Hasbro for replacement. You know what? I probably could. I still have the boxes. But I don't know why I haven't. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will eventually. But if not, I guess I'll just have to buy another one. But that's the thing. Commander classes have always been like the peak of the line. So much enjoyment. I didn't get the first two. I did this year. Jetfire and Skylynx. Those are great figures. I got Kingdom Rodimus. I was blown away. I don't like Rodimus as a character, but that figure's fantastic. Then I got the Motor Master. You know I love that figure. That figure's amazing. So, on Armada Prime, that's so cool. But it's been such pain. This has been one of my least favorite experiences when it comes to Transformers. It was such a bad experience that not only do I not want any Armada figures, because, like, what's the point? It's been ruined because this fucking QC issue that isn't even just my problem. A lot of people haven't had that, and that's fantastic. But there are people who have had this issue, not just me. And now it's like, okay, I still want Armada Sideways, but, like, I don't care about, like, any other... I'm not interested in any more Armada announcements. And also, I like the Commander class list, which was my favorite line. Like I said, not only was it the highlight, but they're also the best. And the fact that they're doing one of my favorite characters next year, Magmatron, as a commander, I'm super stoked. But because of this incident, I'm pretty worried, honestly. Like, am I going to get my heart broken a second time? Now, I feel like if I just fix this, or I get another one, I'll probably enjoy it. But, like, man, even after that, a lot of my experience with this figure has been pain. It's just such a disappointment. Let me reiterate. Just because a figure is on this list does not make it bad. Just because I had the worst experience with something so expensive and something I looked so forward to does not mean it's the worst figure of the year. That is Core Class Sludge without a shadow of a doubt. And I know there's plenty of people who have had this, and they've had no problems. They've loved this figure. And if you're one of those people, that's fantastic. I'm not glad. I'm jealous I couldn't be you. I wish I just had a nice, cool, big Armada Prime toy that was just so awesome. But, you know, I feel like, I was soured on Legacy Evolution, but a majority of it was the first wave. But this and Dreadwing really put things into perspective for me. Wave 2 was... I got Animated Prowl. And I still really like that figure. Easily my favorite pickup of the year. But Shrapnel's been a pain in the ass to get. Everything else was just so milquetoast in terms of interest. Wave 3 actually did have some pretty cool figures. Again, I've already reviewed the Beachcomber. The Dirge. I got Dirge. That's awesome. He's one of the last figures I wanted from Earthrise that I never got. The Megatron was cool. Oh, that's an unfortunate thing. I got this guy and Megatron at the same time, but like such a bad experience. I haven't even touched my Megatron since, which is so sad because that figure is cool as hell. And because then I got this and I was so disappointed. Wave 3 was kind of ruined for me for that. And then Wave 4, I didn't really care. And then I got one figure that I genuinely do not like. Man, I just want to say, Legacy Evolution, not a bad toy line. It's not a bad toy line. I'm not trying to shame anyone who really liked this year. If you thought it was a great toy line, your opinion's valid. You have a lot of valid reasons to think it's great. I can definitely see why some people would probably love Legacy Evolution. A lot of the stuff that, other than, like, this guy, a lot of these figures... I guess other than, like, him, but, like, nobody gives a shit. He's barely a Legacy Evolution figure. But a lot of these figures, a lot of people really took a liking to. And you know what? That's amazing that people can find so much joy in this line. It's not bad at all. It's just... I hated this year of Transformers. Compared to the last four, I mean, Earthrise was at a time where I had no money. And I couldn't get... A lot of my experience with Earthrise was, that figure looks so cool. Too bad I will never have him. I remember getting genuinely depressed. But slowly but surely, I got almost all the figures that I wanted from that. Even that, I'd say, was a better experience than this. I just... what a tough year for collecting. For me, personally. So yeah, that's going to be at my 5 bottom pickups of the year. I know I'm going to enjoy next year. Next year is going to be better. Things will get better. And like I said, if you enjoyed this year, fantastic. I'm really glad you could. I couldn't. But before I go, I do want to give one honorable mention. This isn't a figure that was a bad pickup this year, but last year, which I probably should have made a video on, but like the channel was relatively new, and what the hell else am I going to talk about this? Probably my least favorite experience with any Transformer ever. I probably said that about Armada Prime. This guy was worse. Fuck this thing. It's not a bad toy. I don't want to make it look like this is a terrible toy or anything, but I want to talk about Coronation Starscream, because this, oh man, talk about a troubling experience. So, first off, let's get one thing perfectly clear. I hate Starscream. G1 Starscream has always been so lame. His personality is lame. I know it's colorful compared to the rest of G1, which is just toy commercials, which is fine. I like that about G1. It's stupid. It's cheesy. But, like, even with, like, it's kind of like Peach versus Daisy. Yeah, Peach doesn't really have a defined personality, but Daisy's personality is annoying. So I don't like that character in comparison to Peach. And just, like, I don't like this guy compared to, like, I don't know, Blue Streak?
That ought to cook that tin-foil turkey.
So that's one problem. Number two, the thing with, I really liked last year's toys, but here's the thing. If you remember, Legacy took a long time to come out. It came out, like, I think around May. First wave was May as opposed to, like, January. So the first half of the year was me just trying to catch up with other things. What I was trying to do was buy all modern toys of the 84 bots. And I think I got all the Decepticons. I didn't have Megatron from Siege, I didn't have the Seekers, and I didn't have Starscream. So the plan was Entertainment Earth resold the 2-pack between Thundercracker and Skywarp for a pretty good price, $60. It's 2 Voyagers, that's pretty good. And it actually came out pretty good. My Thundercracker yellowed a little bit, which is fucking annoying, but, you know, whatever. That's one of the only few times I've ever had a positive experience with Entertainment Earth, but then again, I had a lot of bad experiences with Big Bad Toy Store at first, but, like, now I don't mind it, so who knows, maybe one day I'll feel the same with Entertainment Earth. But anyways, I got those guys, and I actually enjoyed them. The engineering was a little bit annoying, trying to get these arms, like, untabbed, then push them in, and then opening it up while this was pushed in was really annoying, specifically on Thundercracker. But, you know, I enjoyed getting those two. But then there is the issue. I had to get Starscream. Now, I could either pay $40 for the Earthrise one, which has mismatching colors when it comes to, like, these fins, I guess. Or I could pay $50 for the Coronation. And my thought process was, well, I don't like Starscream, but this one is premium. And by premium, I mean he has articulated fingers. Maybe that makes up for the fact that I don't like him as much as Thundercracker and Skywarp. And also he comes with the Coronation gear, which is cool. What happened in reality was I basically paid $50 for a Voyager that came with a bunch of shit that I immediately threw in the bin, the toy bin. And it was of one of my least favorite characters ever. And I just got the Thundercracker and Skywarp. So I was really bummed out. When I talked about I was getting burnt out last year and Grimlock saved me, that was because of this guy. So already, I did not like this toy. I paid extra for essentially just a Voyager with articulated fingers, which Tarn has articulated fingers. You're no special cucker. But it was one of my least favorite characters. Like, I don't like Megatron, but that Siege figure came with Skelovor, who's awesome. He came with Black Play-Doh, I don't know why. And also he's silver and he comes with a sword, so he feels like that old toy, which feels like spooky because it's like, oh, you're not supposed to have this. He turns into a gun. So I actually didn't mind that. But this guy was a terrible experience. But it gets worse. So, like I said, actually, funnily enough, this wasn't the first time I had a terrible experience with trying to buy a commander class. The first time I tried to get Motormaster, I spent $90 on it. And they sent me a fucking Coronation Starscream. That's not even a $50 deal for a $90 exchange. This is one of the most shelf-warming leaders ever. He is one of the biggest shelf warmers, period. So he's essentially $30. I already had him. So you can imagine how unbelievably mad I got. But no worries. Just send him back in and there you go. And that's exactly what I did. I sent it back to Amazon. They gave me $90, but they didn't send the $90 back to my bank account. They sent it towards my Amazon account, which I couldn't take out. So it's like, okay, I have exactly $90. I don't know what else to spend it on. I'll just get another Motormaster. I don't want him anymore because of that bad experience. But eventually, I did. And then I really liked him, so yeah, I should probably just return that fucking Optimus, you idiot. But it gets worse. That's already bad enough for me to fucking hate this figure, but it gets even worse. Even though they acknowledge, okay, we got your Coronation Starscream back. Here's your refund. Months later, they didn't even give me a notification for this. I just checked my bank account, and there was a random $90 charge. And I looked at it, and it turns out they're like, oh, we don't have your Coronation Starscream, so you basically scammed us. So here, we're going to charge you $90 for that, asshole. So I was like, is this still happening? I've already had 2 terrible experiences with this fucking thing. So I'm having a third one. At this point, I'm done. I'm mad. Fortunately, I just called them up, and they're like, oh yeah, that was a mistake. And guess what? Never had a problem with this since, but like, let's just recap. Let's recap. Already hate Starscream. I paid $50 for essentially a $30 figure because it came with shit I don't even want. I just got the Seekers that I actually liked before this guy. This guy burns me out. They send me another one of these, which, let me remind you, this is one of the biggest shelf warmers ever for $90. I feel scammed. And then, when everything is cleared up, they fucking still fuck with me. God. I mean, things have been resolved, but, you know, I don't genuinely get mad at this kind of shit. Sounds like I do, but this is one of the few times I have never hated a Transformer more. This is why this is my least favorite, not the worst. This is all 100% subjective experiences, not objective qualities. And by objective, I don't mean like objectively, like factually. I mean like, is this figure good? Well, it has decent articulation. I don't care. I don't like this figure. Doesn't make it bad. Just subjectively, I don't like it. So there you go. That's my list of my bottom 5 pickups of 2023. Hopefully Transformers can be better next year. In fact, I'm going to wager probably will. Or at the very least, let me rephrase that. Hopefully I'll have a better experience. Definitely will. So, that's it. I'm losing my voice. I need to go drink some fucking, I don't know, Dan Adquaid vodka. Or, I don't know, hydrochloric acid.
About to explode.